Shalom, and welcome to a series of studies in the book of Joshua, the people of Israel coming home. We will be continuing our message from the wisdom of Torah as we have concluded studying the book of Deuteronomy, and we are beginning with a weekly lesson and the book of Joshua, hoping to continue on and on, praying to Hashem that He will give us the knowledge and the strength to give this lesson weekly. We are beginning this week with chapter 1. Vayihi acharei mot Moshe eved Adonai. It was after the death of Moses. Vayomer Adonai el Yehoshua ben Nun misharet Moshe lemor. God calls upon Joshua and tells him to continue to lead the people of Israel following the death of Moses, the great leader. The people of Israel are presently in a crisis. The great leader who has led them for 40 years has notified them he's not continuing, and he passed away exactly as they are about to enter the land. Finally, the dream, the promise from God is becoming reality. God is fulfilling His promise, but the leader who has led the people for all these years passed away. Moshe avdi met. ואתה קום עבור את הירדן הזה, אתה וכל העם הזה אשר אנוכי נותן להם לבני ישראל. God's first message to Joshua is appointing him and telling him, now you will be leading the people. You will be crossing the Jordan River together with the people. You will be stepping into the shoes of Moshe. Every single place your foot will step, meaning the people of Israel will capture, this will be yours. God describes the borders of the land, but also He says to Joshua, don't worry. Nobody will bother you. Lo yityatzeb ish lefanecha kol yimei chayecha. As I was with Moses, I will be with you. Chazak ve'ematz. Be strong and courageous. And God repeats this, Chazak ve'ematz. Be strong and courageous. You are facing many obstacles. You will be facing, it's not going to be simple, capturing the land of Israel, the land of Canaan at the time. It won't be a piece of cake. Be strong and courageous. God says that again and again and repeats it. Take the word of God with you. Rak chazak ve'ematz me'od. I'm reading verse 7. Lishmor la'asot et haTorah. Be strong and courageous. Be very strong and courageous. Me'od. Lishmor la'asot kechol haTorah asher tzivcha Moshe avdi. Remember, you are following the footsteps of Moses. Keep the Torah that Moses has taught, the word of God to the people. Lo yamush sefer Torah mipicha ve'agita bo yomam v'layla. The word of God, the word of the Torah, will not leave your mouth. Continue and examine it and study it and think it day and night. And He concludes God with His word in verse 9. Halo tziviticha chazak ve'ematz. I have commanded you, be strong and courageous, because I am with you. So the book of Joshua begins with the first 9 verses, with the word of God to Joshua. You are stepping into Moses' shoes. You are continuing what Moses has done from the exodus of Egypt, from Egypt, all the way to the land of Israel. You will be leading the people. Be strong. Be strong. If God repeats again and again, be strong, it means He has a reason. There are enough reasons why sometimes to give up, sometimes to fear, sometimes to question. God says to Joshua, this is your mission. The first 9 verses of the book of Joshua are the word of God. But the question is, when God says to Joshua, you are to go in the footsteps of Moses, does that mean that Joshua is an exact copy of Moses? Does that mean that God is pressing Control-C, Control-V, copying Moses, and now we have a new Moses? The answer is, of course, no, not at all. Joshua is continuing the spiritual way that Moses has assigned, that Moses has introduced, but he's going to be doing it in his way. Joshua will be doing it in his way. Or maybe we question, why did God let this happen, that Moses, who led the people for 40 years, not enter the land of Israel? Maybe because his leadership, his style of leadership, maybe because his perspective was fit to lead the people in the desert. But entering the land of Israel, we need a new person, with a new perspective, with a new style of leadership. And this will be Joshua. And how will we see if this is the case? If we read the next 9 verses of chapter 1, where we see what are the first things that Joshua does upon receiving this appointment. And actually we're pretty surprised. We're waiting to see what is going to be the first thing that Joshua is going to do. What will be the first speech? What will be the first words of Joshua as the leader? We probably should expect some like real spiritual, motivative speech. We maybe expect calling the people and say, listen to the word of God. No, Joshua says something else. There are 2 sets of commandments that Joshua has on his first mission. First, he calls upon the officers of the people. In verse 10, Vayitzav Yoshua et shotrei ha'am lemor, Ivru b'kerev ha'machaneh, v'tzavu et ha'am lemor, hachinu lachem teda. Go through the people, go among the camp, go about the camp, and tell the people, prepare yourselves. Prepare tzeidah. Tzeidah usually means in Hebrew, like prepare food usually. Prepare but it's pretty strange. Joshua calls the policeman and said to them, if you go tell the people, if you don't prepare a sandwich, there's going to be a policeman who'll put you in jail. That's what Joshua has to tell them. But the question is even more stronger, because we know that we're talking about a time where the man is still coming down. So what does it mean that the first thing that Joshua says, to go to the people and tell them, make your preparations. Hachinu lachem tzeda. Because we're going to capture the land. I believe, that this is the message of Joshua. His first words are his message. What is his message? The leadership of Moses in the desert was a leadership of the desert, where people are not in their own land, and actually they can trust God. Every day they'll have miracles. Man, water coming out of stones, birds coming to be flesh. But here, Joshua is trying to pass on a message. The days of Moses have finished. We are now entering to a land, we are to be independent. We have to make our own preparations. We, the people of Israel, you'll have to know now, you can't wait for miracles to come. Make your preparations means get ready. It may mean get ready to fight a war. It may mean get ready for the journey. It can mean anything. But it means one major thing. The responsibility is going into your hands. You are now going to start a new era. The people of Israel, your destiny is in your own hands. Go ahead and not be passive anymore. Start being active. And this is the first message that Joshua says. He says to the officers, go about the people and tell them that the time has come. Yes, in 3 days we're crossing the Jordan. Crossing the Jordan means we are entering the land. The second message that Joshua has, he calls upon the 3 tribes, 2.5 tribes actually. I'm reading verse 12. Joshua says to the people, he calls upon those 2.5 tribes who have already received the land that they were promised in the eastern side of the Jordan River. And he's telling them, don't forget what Moses has commanded upon you. Meaning that even though Moses is not with us anymore, I am continuing, though I just told the people, prepare yourselves in sort of a new style of leadership. But what was in the days of Moses is continuing. And you 2.5 tribes have, as you promised Moses, you will have to lead the people. And therefore he says, don't forget, you will go ahead of the people. Until God allows all your brothers to capture the land, and then you can go back to your land. But you have to not only be part in the land, you have to lead the battle over the land. And here is Joshua's first test, examination of his leadership. In verse 16, whatever you tell us, we will do. And not only that, verse 17, as we listen to Moses, we will listen to you. Yes, the people have accepted the leadership of Joshua. They understand that though, in a way, it may seem a new style of leadership, but it's continuity. Anybody who will not listen to your words shall be deserving death penalty. Rak chazak ve'emat. And here they conclude as accepting the word of God. As God said to Joshua, be strong and courageous, the people also accepted to Joshua. Be strong, be courageous. We are here with you. We are going to cooperate with you. God should bless you. That you, in your new style of leadership, which is fit for the land of Israel, for people coming to their home to be independent, yes, we accept upon ourselves. Be strong and courageous, all of us together. We will hope that we shall succeed. And as we read again, the first 9 verses, God is appointing Joshua. The second 9 verses, Joshua begins his leadership, and the people accept it. We have a new style of leadership, independence, taking our destiny in our own hands, but it's continuing the path of Moses. Goodbye and shalom until our next lesson.